Hey guys, welcome to the Roadrunner 94 channel. I am your host, Roadrunner 94, and I want to start off the video by giving you guys a thanks because it still amazes me that there's actually 50 whole people that are actually interested in what I actually have to say in regards to guns, shooting, and gear. So I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. And with that, I do want to make a video to fulfill a request based on about two of my comments. Two people seemed like they were quite interested in hearing about my 11.5-inch BCM build. So with that stated, I'm gonna go over what I have on the AR, and I'm gonna go over the reasons why I have it and what I think about it. So the primary role of this 11.5-inch BCM build is a home defense, right? And for me, I do value my hearing. I have already lost quite a bit of hearing, so I do like to run all of my rifles or rifle cartridge pistols with suppressors, okay? And if you haven't fired a gun indoors, it's very loud. So for me, it is important for me to have a suppressor on, especially a home defense AR-15. This is, by the way, the Griffin Armament M4 SDK. It is roughly under 6 inches, and for the size of the can, it provides a supreme amount of sound suppression compared to others. And if you are not a fan of spending a ton of money on muzzle devices after getting your really expensive can, this might be the route to go, because this can mount up to any A2 pattern muzzle device. So that's really nice. Moving on up, I have a Surefire Mini Scout Light Pro Turbo that I've been using and testing out for a little bit now. I really like this light. I will say the only complaint I have with this light is the fact that because of its super bright center hotspot, it does tend to wash out my reticle at a very close distance. But at the same time, you know, that center hotspot can be used as a sort of aiming device in a way, because it is so focused and so tight. So, but I do really like this light. Very impressive light. I did show a demonstration of all of the lights that I have, and I think this one by far was the brightest. It is sitting with a Kinetic Development Scout Light Pro mount, and I really like this because on a couple of my rifles, I don't have dedicated lights. So if I do want to just detach this light, Tasha, hush. If I do want to detach this light and put it on, you know, my 16-inch LWRC or my, you know, Faxon FX22 rifle, because I want to, you know, shoot a couple of bunnies or raccoons on the property at night, I can do that very easily. You just, and that is it, literally. And you can also use it as a handheld flashlight once you take it off of your weapon. And putting it back on is easy as putting it in the M-lock slot and pushing it down. And it's rock solid. I love that about this mount. As far as backup iron sights, I do have the Magpul MBus Pro. They are the steel sights. I am not a fan of plastic iron sights. I'll say that much. Moving on up, I have this thing that people oftentimes ask at the range, what is that? It is literally black athletic tape from Walmart that I have wrapped around the part of the handguard that I grip with my support hand. Because I noticed that after running a couple of drills, the handguard would get pretty hot. And I do mean uncomfortably hot to hold. So this layer of athletic tape definitely helps quite a bit. And the white lines are actually super glue that is applied to the seams of the tape so that the tape doesn't fray. I've had this on this AR for a couple of months, and I haven't had any signs of wear so far. So I really like it, and it really helps with the heat dissipation. So I'm a huge fan. Underneath that tape, I have a Phase 5 hand stop. It is an aluminum hand stop, so it also needed to get wrapped because that thing absorbs heat like no other. Over here, I have a BCM QD slot for the sling that I have. This is a Magpul adjustable sling. I really like it. For the money, I mean, it works. So I got no complaints there. The optic itself is an Aimpoint Duty RDS. This is like, I guess, the next iteration that Aimpoint is doing. They used to have the Aimpoint Pro, the patrol rifle optic, and I have one. I still use it. It's on my 16-inch LWRC, and I really like it. But one of the downside is that that thing is ginormous. It's almost the size of an ACOG, and it is pretty hefty. So I was pretty happy to try this one out, and I have not been disappointed. As far as the battery life, it's estimated at around 30,000 hours, just like the Aimpoint Pro. But the upside is that if I have this Aimpoint Duty RDS in setting 7 and the Aimpoint Pro on setting 7 also, the Aimpoint Duty RDS reticle is actually notably brighter than the reticle of the Pro on the same setting. So I really like that. And as I've stated before, Magpul backup iron sights. This is a Geisley airborne charging handle. I like it because the nubs are actually a little bit shorter than their supercharging handles, so it doesn't really dig into my abdomen quite as bad. So I really do like that. In the rear, I have an SBA3 stabilizer. It is what it is. This is not an SBR, you know. It is a pistol, so it gets a brace, right? I do have a Magpul bad lever just because I do like the capability of locking my bolt open without having to move my firing hand from the pistol grip. The lower is a ballistic advantage lower with the built-in trigger guard. And the safety selector is a Phase 5, I believe, ambidextrous safety selector. So the other side is actually shorter than this side right here. So it doesn't really dig into my firing hand as much when I flip the safety down. So I like that quite a bit. The trigger is actually one of my favorite things, and that is the Geisley SDE trigger. And it is a fantastic two-stage trigger. Between the LaRue MBT and the Geisley SDE, I would say that I like the Geisley a lot better. I don't know if it's because it's Geisley, but you know, I am a fan of, I don't get mad about having to pay a lot of money for a specific part or gun or gear. What I have a problem with is buying something that is less pricey and having to use their warranty services till God knows when. You know, I don't like that. You know, I'd rather just bite the bullet up front and pay a little more money and get the nicer stuff that I know is gonna work. So there's my take on that. As far as the pistol grip goes, this is my favorite pistol grip for AR-15s. This is the Magpul K2. I like the grip angle. I like the stippling and the texture of it. In the compartment, I keep an extra CR2032 battery along with the sight adjustment tool for my Aimpoint Duty RDS. But with all that being said, I think this is it. I mean, this is probably the most boring review that you can watch, but I do thank you guys for sitting through with it. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I'll be glad to answer it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.